Hi, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. How do I pass the... Thank you. So, thank you, Fava, for the invitation. It's very good to have partners here and to talk a little bit more about AMAGE and what we do, not only on our own activities, but in our supply chain and our ESG strategies over the last 20 years. So I'm going to introduce myself first so you understand a little bit on how my mind works when I think ESG strategies. I'm a daughter of a very big entrepreneurship that was at the mining sector for almost 40 years. But also, I'm a daughter of an activist from Greenpeace for the last 25 years, my mom. They were able to combine different ideas. My grandfather is an indigenous. My grandmother, it is a Portuguese that was created to be a housewife. So in our family, we had many different ideas, and we were able to discuss everything, every time, everywhere. And this is how I see ESG. We need to find solutions, even though when we do not agree on much of the biggest percentage that we see. When I entered AMAGE 20 years ago, my mother stopped talking to me for 2 months because agribusiness was destroying the world. Now, she is a very big active in internet and LinkedIn, Instagram, and she can point one thing about Greenpeace and another about agribusiness, saying how important agribusiness is. So if I was able to do that with my mother, then I decided I'm able to do this with everybody to find solutions for agribusiness. AMAGE is an agribusiness company that has 4 business areas. One is our own agriculture production, where we mainly produce soy, corn, and cotton, but we also produce pulses, mango beans, and some other products. Just to give an idea, we produce around 400,000 hectares on first and second crop. This would be like 2.5 cities of São Paulo every year, which is big. In our commodities division, we buy grains from producers and we sell, especially we export to the market. Our database has around 6,000 producers that supply to us. We buy from 4,500 producers every year. Just to give an overview, 6,000 producers, and the volumes that we commercialize with them represents 95% of the products that I commercialize. Our own production, even though we are one of the biggest producer, only represents 5%. So my challenge is to produce well and to be able to show this to our supply chain. Because when they ask us, do you already do in your farm? If I don't do it, I cannot convince them. So I normally say that agro division is a big pilot for our supply chain. Logistics and operations, where we do have the largest grain fleet, river fleet in Brazil, and also the South America. And we have a truck fleet of 1,000 trucks, which represents around 15% of the volumes that we are able to transport. All the other are from different trucks that are in our chain, value chain. We have our energy division that is small hydroelectric power plants and solar panels. We are self-sufficient in energy. We consume around 20 to 25% of the energy that we produce. We have our footprint in Brazil, but also international. We are the largest provider of non-GM soy for the Sweden, Denmark, Norway market for feed. We have offices in Europe, in Argentina, and now in China. We have a lot of institutional commitments, but this is mostly because we believe that institutional commitments help us to know what we have to do, what are the strategies that are important, but mainly having people together with us that think different, that has different ways of thinking, that knows what to do in specific themes that we normally don't know, and we can learn from them when we are open to listen to them. We were the only Brazilian company to be invited on the Food and Agriculture Business Principles for UN around 15 years ago. There was 30 different companies. Brazil had only AMAGE, and we were able to gather more than 50 different companies in Brazil to bring their perspective on how to present this in this small group. We have our global positioning, sustainability positioning. This was created in 2017 when we did our first analysis of what would be the new trends for sustainability, but mainly what were the trends for us to be very well positioned to the market. And this is very good because I saw the presentation from the University on Canada. What are the 9 new things that we need to learn? And this is very well connected to what we discussed in 2016. So we had 4 different analyses. 1, we needed to develop the local activities that we had. We need to work together with the communities. We need to improve governance and management. We were promoting the sustainable value chain, but mainly the first one that you see here, innovating sustainable products and solutions, this was not the first part that we published. The point here was a different one. It was mainly saying that we have the questions, but we don't have the answers. We need to have the answers together with everybody. And we opened this in our website for public consultation. What was our challenges that we didn't have the answer? And to receive a lot of information from the world to know what is happening outside and what can we do. And this is where this turned into innovating. And it's a very big challenge. In 2021, we launched our ESG goals and our global actions by 2030. We presented all our strategy on ESG for the next 10 years. And some of them was very specific. One was our deforestation conversion free chain commitment. We decided to have a DCF commitment by 2025. So even though here in Brazil you know that there is legal or illegal deforestation and conversion, we decided to have 0 deforestation and conversion. Mainly on what you heard from also from Aurelio, which is we can increase production in Brazil without having any other single tree getting down. But to do that, we need strategies and we need public activities for do that, so the government needs to act. But if the private sector do not present itself as a solution, we know will not achieve. And maintain our own areas free from deforestation and conversion. All our areas and the farms that we acquire after 2008 was 0 from deforestation and conversion. We also have this commitment for our supply chain on 2025. And this is hard. because to guarantee that, we need to monitor. So we have been working on a monitoring process for the last 15 years. Right now, we have 22 million hectares being monitored by satellite images in a daily basis. Just to give an idea, the whole state of São Paulo has 24 million hectares. The whole state of Paraná has 20 million hectares. So we monitor more than one Paraná state every day. We have not finished yet because now we have 100% of our direct suppliers being monitored, but only 52% of our indirect suppliers. And we want to achieve 100% by the end of this year. This 52 is numbers from 2023. We are going to launch the numbers of 2024. This monitoring process, it's a lot of investment in technology, but mainly to understand what are the challenges that we have in our supply chain. Another commitment that we made, we were the first Brazilian company to assume a carbon net zero commitment, so to achieve 1.5 degrees, which is still our goal, even though we know it's very hard. It's almost impossible for all the numbers right now. And we were the first Brazilian grain company to receive the approval from Science-Based Target Initiatives on the three pillars for long-term, cooperative, and FLAG, which is forest, land, and agriculture. We have been working a lot on regenerative agriculture. So we launched our program, which is called A Mais Regenera. And this was created to work everything that we are already doing in our farm, but also all the things that we still need to work in our farm, how to communicate this and how to work with this in our supply chain. Mainly, and this is we can discuss a little bit later, is that why we created this program was there is one thing that we still think that is missing on the certifications for regenerative agriculture in the market, which is economic resilience. There will be a lot of difficulties for the producers to implement regenerative agriculture that will implicate them on the way they make the finance for their market, the way that financial institutions will need to think on how to work with the producers. And if we don't put the economic resiliency on the math, probably this will go wrong. So we decided to create this and to analyze a little bit better. Our regenerative agriculture has three main pillars, which is soil, health soil, biodiversity, not only in the soil but also in the farm, and people, which I think is the hardest one. And every time that I listen about biological control, we know how challenging it was to implement in our farm. When I think on small agricultures, medium agricultures, I know how hard this is going to be for the next 10 years. And if we don't work with them, it will be very hard to get scale on this. And I need to get scale on this because it's the only way to achieve a net zero commitment. There is one thing on people that I would like to highlight is that I like to make a balance between homeopathy and allopathy. Biological control seems a lot like homeopathy. We work on the cause. We need to trust that it will take some time to the medicine work. Allopathy, I have a headache, I take a pill, 30 minutes, it's solved. How many of you use homeopathy in your body? And we are asking for the producers to change everything in their production in just 5 minutes. And we are still going to finance them the same way. This is very hard. We need to understand what we are asking. We work a lot on biodiversity. And I'm going to show you that every 2 years we make an analysis of all the fauna, flora that we have in our farm. Done by IPAMA, which is the institution for Amazon research. And in just one farm, we were able to find 60 species of mammals, 254 species of birds. On the birds, it's like 28% of the species recorded across entire Europe. We have 180 species of bees and 157 species of ants. Almost 400 species of plants in just one farm. And we monitor this every 2 years to see if this is decreasing or increasing. Good for me, it is increasing the fauna and flora that we have. When you see our institutional presentation, this is a chart that we like to present because this shows all our trajectory until our commitment on 2025. We were the first company to have RTRS certified farm, but also our supply chain certified. We were the first company to have ISO 14001 in Brazil for soy. We were the first company to build a strategy for ESG in the market. And we were the first company to guarantee the entire traceability of our direct supply chain. You can see all of this in our reports, but there's one thing. We also launched our 2024 ESG report, but I would like to highlight one thing. There is a ranking called Forest 500. They analyze the 350 companies in the world that has the biggest impact on deforestation, and 150 financial institutions in the world that has a big impact. It is a pleasure to say that we are the best ranked company for the last 4 years. So what we are saying that a lot of discussions happen worldwide about deforestation. However, it is a Brazilian company that is showing that the solution is possible. So we know how to do it. We know we can do it. We just have to work together. Thank you very much.